Let's talk about starting a part-time business. Starting a part-time business can be, a great way to go. I mean, what's the alternative? You leave your job and you have some money saved up, and you try and start a business and you use up all of your savings. There can be some risk in that approach. So I highly recommend starting a part-time business if you have that luxury. And you can certainly get all the usual tips. I'll be writing a post on my blog about this. And the usual tips about starting a part-time business will say things like, make sure your boss is on side. I mean, if your boss doesn't like you having a part-time business, finds out that you are doing something on the side because maybe you're coming in late, maybe you're a little bit tired, who knows what, or maybe you have to go for a meeting and need a day off. Maybe he'll then fire you and you're in the same situation as you were before, that now you don't have a part-time business anymore, you suddenly have a full-time business that maybe you weren't quite prepared to have. So make sure your boss is on side. Equally, make sure your spouse is on side, your husband, wife or partner. If they're not on side and you're working a full-time job and then coming home and working a second full-time job, and believe me, a business, even a part-time business, is a second full-time job, or certainly will be from time to time, and your partner is on side, you've got a world of hurt about to happen. So you need to seriously think about how you're going to manage that. Obviously, simple tip, choose a business type, a business that allows you to be flexible. So, don't have a retail shop that's open, 60 hours a week and you have to go and check on it all the time while you're at work. I mean, you need to have something that's more flexible. Service business, something you do after hours, maybe an online business, maybe a direct marketing business, something you do part-time. Same with the flexible hours, you probably want to have flexible staffing. So if you do need staff, you can hire part-time people or contract people who can do maybe work from home on the business, or maybe come into your house or wherever your place of work is for your business, and maybe can match their hours to your hours, or can complement you with the hours that you can't work. But you certainly need to have probably more flexible staffing if you're going to start a part-time business. And I would recommend the number one thing for you to do if you're going to start any business, let alone start a part-time business, is get a hold of a book called The Art of the Start by Guy Kawasaki. So Guy Kawasaki is in the motorbike, was one of the founders of Apple. He was also one of the founders of the angel venture firm called Garage.com. Just go to Garage.com, you'll find the Guy Kawasaki listed there. And certainly Google Art of the Start. And if you can get hold of that book on Amazon or in Borders or Barnes & Noble, whoever gives you the biggest kickback if you order online through your own blog, go buy the book, and it will certainly tell you how to write a very simple and easy business plan, how to bootstrap that business, and how to basically do it low cost. And it's aimed at online businesses and the next Facebook type businesses, but it works for any business. I certainly recommend it. So that will probably pretty much tell you all you need to know about starting a part-time business. I want to make a quick comment that what we call that, so in fact what the Chinese call that, since this is just after the 2008 Olympics that I'm making this video, is the Chinese call it riding in the big boat while carrying the little boat. The big boat you're riding in is the big business you're working for, and you're carrying the little boat, which is your own small business. So obviously this concept has been around for a long time. We're not the first people to invent having part-time businesses. And to answer the question that somebody asked me once about having a lot of little boats, they said that they wanted to have a lot of little boats or lots of small businesses instead of one, for diversity reasons. My proverb is, to add to the Chinese one, says, keep riding in the little boat, carrying the big boat, until you can make the little boat into a bigger boat, jump in it, and race down the river and make it a huge boat. And so I think that you really need to find ideally one business that will work for you, and the type of business that might be ideal if you're technology oriented or have friends or a business partner that you can find who is technology oriented is around the internet. The next Facebook as well. It doesn't have to be the next Facebook, it could be anything that can generate cash. But with an internet business, it's going to be hit, or I like to say miss then hit. Because the idea with the internet business is that if it hits, it'll grow very quickly and very fast, and you can make good money or sell hopefully. If you miss, it's not expensive, chop it down. You've only wasted some hours, some labor. If you've got, if you can do programming yourself or have a business partner who can do programming with you, so you can then just miss and try again. Maybe your next one will hit. If that doesn't hit, then you'll have another miss then hit business. And I reckon after 3 or 4 times, if you've got any marketing nous at all, you might find an internet business that makes you some money. If you want to stick with the real world, the bricks and mortar world, and steer clear of the internet, or how about hedging your bets? Try eBay. eBay businesses, I think, are hard to scale, but good businesses to start part-time, make a little bit money on. But I prefer something that can grow very big. So again, I would steer clear of eBay. But if you don't want to go to the internet and try a speculative business for your next Facebook, then try something like a business that you believe you can franchise. When I say a franchise business, you be the franchisor, don't be the franchisee. Let other people pay you to buy your business concept. The secret here is intellectual property. Let you find a business where you've got the intellectual property, be it through programming, be it through business processes. You grow that business, you grow it very, very fast. Then you find a big fat corporation that's growing slowly, and you say to them, I'm growing this thing very fast, but I've only got 20 stores now. Imagine what you can do with all your money. You could make it 20,000 stores and make them pay you a price as though you already had 100 stores. So you've got 20 stores, you convince them they can grow to 2,000 stores, and you sell to them as though you already had 100 or 200 stores. Imagine the payback of that. Now the reality is the big fat corporation will stuff the whole thing up, and they'll never get to 2,000 stores. Then you'll buy it back from them when they've blown it back down to 10 stores, and you'll take 5 years and do the same thing again. But they don't need to know that. So my point is with these businesses is find the one that you think is going to grow, try and make it grow. When you get to the payout number that you believe is going to be your number, don't get greedy. If you get a good offer, sell out, but make sure you sell out for enough that you actually don't have to go to work again, even though you may try and want to, but you may not succeed the second time.